Hi everyone, welcome. It's Stacy Tucker. I am author of the Equal Night trilogy and spiritual guide, and bringing you the lessons and tools that I have picked up along the way to help in these tumultuous times. So welcome. Today is October 13th, and I hope you are doing well despite the craziness of the month and all that's going on in the United States and all that's going on in the world right now. So welcome. Today I wanted to talk to you about energy. And actually specifically today what I was going to talk about is the divine feminine energy. We in the spiritual community talk all the time about the divine feminine, and some people might not necessarily know what that means. And I know I had to do my research when I was studying up on for my books exactly what that idea represents, and it goes along the lines as if you ascribe to the idea that, and the belief that we are all consciousness, right? As humans, we are consciousness having a human experience. And I do ascribe to that belief. And so that being said, the divine feminine energy is an energy and a consciousness that is just like as we would say God is. The divine feminine energy is. It's a consciousness, a way of being. And it has been very dormant the last 13,000 years on our planet. And we've gone through cycles of time that I've talked about in different videos. And one being 26,000 years, one being 13,000 years, one being 5,200 years. We're going through cycles in our planet, which I will put a link to another video that I talk about cycles of time, because that's not what this is about. But the divine feminine energies that have been away from our planet for so long are now coming back in full force. And it's very exciting. I look at all of the things that are happening in our world, and so much is being dismantled because it has to be. It's time for those antiquated, stale ways of being that no longer work, and it's time for those to go. And that the whole patriarchal system, and the word patriarchy is thrown around a ton as well. And that's really what we're talking about with what is getting dismantled right now on our planet. And so the divine feminine energy, an aspect of who we are as humans and then who we are as a collective, is really playing a huge role in what's happening right now on the planet. I mean, it's so many people get stuck in the pain and the minutia of what is happening, and I get that. But to see the bigger picture, it's that this new energy is coming in to dismantle and then rebuild. So right now we are in the dissolution, and the rebuilding will come, but it's going to be bumpy. I know we've said it's going to be bumpy here for a while. It's not. The other thing too is, I've been looking at the year 2020 as the end, right? It's the end of the end. The end of a lot of different things. The end of the work I've had to do. The end of the end of so much. You see it all crumbling. I'm like, oh, okay, good. It's the end. But I had a revelation last night that it isn't the end. It is only the beginning. It really is only the beginning, because this next decade plus till about 2034. So that's 14 years from now, the world is just, that is the dismantling and the rebuilding. It's going to happen in the span of the next 1.5 decades. So this isn't the end. And I know we're all exhausted. And so many of my friends, we're just like so tired. And we just want it to be the end, but it isn't. I'm sorry to say, it is not the end.
We're not going back to some other, the way things used to be. We're not going back to that. We're not. We are not returning to what used to be normal. We are now creating something completely different. So that is the energy that we are in. So I'm going to continue to be here and do these videos to help you and support you. One, to understand what's going on, and two, to give you tools to help, right? Because we all need tools. And so one of the things that I was in my prayer chair today, and I was thinking about what video to do, and the message that I got was about talking about the different energies. And there are and the different guides that come along with the energies, because there are feminine energies and feminine guides like Mother Mary and Green Tara or Kuan Yin or Sophia herself, right? That I wrote my books about. There are archetypal, you can call them people for sure, but they're more than that. They're embodiments of divine feminine energy that are in the ethers that can come to you as guides to help you through problems in your personal life, as well as our collective problems, offer support, offer solutions, or even just offer a dialogue or a conversation. So often that is what I'm doing when I'm in my prayer chair. I am having a dialogue with a guide, a certain guide that I'm feeling that I need the help from, right? So those are the feminine energies that I'm going to talk a little bit about today. There's also masculine energies, which we think of a lot in like when we're talking about archangels, right? So Michael or Uriel, and I'll save the masculine for a different video. This one is feminine. It's interesting too, Gabriel. So often, and it's all up to personal interpretation of how you see the world and how you see your guides, right? I look at Gabriel, who is the archangel of writers, and I've used and called on Gabriel so often, but it's interesting that I perceive Gabriel as male. And in truth, and in their highest beingness, they have no gender. They are genderless. They are just pure light energy. But as humans, we need containers to understand, because our minds are so limited and can only understand this, a very small amount of the bigger picture. And so we need angels to have wings, even though it's their light body. We need to associate them male, female, and many associate Gabriel as female, and that is fine. That is, like I said, a personal. It's a personal feeling, that how you feel and how you associate anyone. And I'm just saying, Gabriel. As female or male, and I just happen to associate Gabriel. I've always seen him as him, but anyway. So those are the masculine. Those can be like the masculine energies. There are elemental energies also that I'll be talking about in the series, from earth, water, fire, air, all of that are all really vibrant right now and are really asking us to pay attention to them and use them as helpers and to work with the elemental energies. So that's another form of energy that is readily available to help us, if we're so inclined and we want to work with them. So I have some notes that I wanted to just make sure that I touch on with you today. One being books. When I was writing my book, I couldn't get enough information, and it can be so absolutely overwhelming. And I have read and researched probably at this point, I would say 500 to 600 books on the topics of spirituality and personal growth and
energy and the energetic field and what the body, the energetic field of the body and the divine feminine. And so, I have, if you are interested in really getting to the meat and really absorbing some really good literature on the divine feminine and feminine energies, the one woman that who basically started it all, right, who is Marija Gimbutas, and she was so vitally important in uncovering the true, the living goddess, right, the truth about, she was an archaeologist, and the truth about goddess culture back in literally 13 to 20,000 years ago. I mean, it is, she brought this information forward when, no one else had. And so what started me too on this path with the divine feminine was I had taken a workshop at the Omega Institute, and this is about 5 years ago, 2015, I had taken this workshop with these gorgeous, lovely goddess ladies, these actresses, one being Olympia Dukakis, and they did a weekend of the descent of Alana, which is such a powerful myth to explore as a woman and really going deeply into ourselves, into the underworld of our own psyche. And it was over the course of the whole weekend. And so Marija's work was really highlighted in that weekend. And so it's just so unbelievably, it's part of our history, right? That we are not, taught in any kind of schooling unless you study maybe women's studies when you're in college. But it's just, it would be so unbelievably amazing if work of people like Marija was taught to middle schoolers. What the world that would open up for young minds of young girls about our true history and the true history of the woman's role as leader in the ancient cultures. And it would just really be, especially when they're just so starting to skew away from being proud of themselves and really and then they start, at 12, well, it's even earlier than 12 now, right? 10, 11 years old, girls really start to go introverted and really are worrying about, all the things that they shouldn't be worrying about in life. But if we had some really great educators of our roots, I think that would be doing our girls just the most amazing service. And I may have to take that on at some point. Not this year, but that might be coming. But anyway, so that Marija's work is amazing. Also, too, the other book I wanted to mention is the Sophia Code, which I actually hadn't come across until after I wrote my books. I did not even know that this book existed. And then when I did, it was like I was reading my own work, which I'll talk about is like, they call it the morphic field or morphogenetic field, where, there are ideas that sit in the ethers and you're not the only person who brings them in. You're not the only person who draws from that field of information. But as writers, we are opening up the gate to that field of information, and it can come into multiple vessels, right? And so Kaia, the Sophia Code, she talks about specifically Sophia as well as other faces of the divine feminine. There's Isis, there's Hathor, there's Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and White Buffalo Woman and Kuan Yin, right? These are all archetypes of the feminine that are all around the globe in all different cultures. And so it's so fascinating how women and humans can have the same idea about call it the divine feminine, the feminine energy, the goddess, and never, you know, the Aborigines, like they don't know what's happening on the other side of the world, yet they pull in that and are connected to that same field of information, and they perceive it and create their own goddess in their own likeness, but it all has the same base of the feminine aspect of life and the feminine aspect of being a woman. So I would highly recommend the Sophia Code. Loved this book. And then one other book that I do want to show you is The Return of the Divine Sophia. This book as well. This one I actually did have while I was writing my books, and it's a great read and deep dive into goddess history and into specifically the lost wisdom teachings of Jesus, Isis, and Mary Magdalene. And it's so filled with so many wonderful truths that if you're looking for a deeper dive, this one I would definitely recommend is The Return of the Divine Sophia by Tricia McCannon. And I will put all these in the description box below. Now, also the one I'm actually reading, where's the book I'm reading now? I just got this one this week, which is The Magdalene by Lars Muhl. And I'm really, really, really looking forward to reading this. So I'm just starting this. I'm on like page 2. But this one, I'm all about Mary Magdalene right now, because I think she's really coming on strongly onto the planet right now. And so many people are really connecting with her. And she's really like the archetype of Mary Magdalene, and her energy and all the messages that she has right now are readily available. And so part of this series and this video that I want to tell you is that, you know, these guides, and these specifically the feminine aspect, Isis is part of the lineage from Egypt, and like I mentioned, Kuan Yin, which is part of the Asian culture. And so it doesn't matter what culture you are from, there are guides and there are archetypes that are readily available to you to help you with what you have going on. And it isn't hard to connect. It isn't hard to receive messages from them. The way that I like to do it is, when I'm in my prayer chair, and it's not meditation, it is prayer. It is, and prayer is simply a dialogue with the divine. So it's basically setting an intention for connection to whomever you are interested in connecting with, right? Like my mom passed away in 2004, and if I'm so inclined, I want to connect with her energy, I can do that. And so you can connect to Mary Magdalene just as easy, right? And these energies and these guides and these beings are available to you to connect with. If you would just set your intention, you set aside time to be quiet and uninterrupted, and set an intention, do an invocation. I like to use these sprays. Amanda Ellis, who is amazing, love her. She's a spiritual teacher, and she sells these sprays. She's from the UK, and she has a Mary Magdalene spray. And she has 2 of them actually, and this is the other Mary Magdalene spray, and I use both of them. This one is the Teaching and Anointing Aura Spray, and this is the Divine Feminine Aura Spray. And I don't have it. Do I have it? Oh, I do. Hold on. I made my own spray. There's another video too. I made my own spray, which is so fun, and it's fun, but I won't go into that. But I find that these are a wonderful way to start an invocation. You can make your own spray, or you can buy some from Amanda. They smell so amazing, and it's like being anointed, right? I looked up the definition of anointed, and it means to connect to the divine, right? It's like being anointed is like giving you permission to connect to the divine, which, us Reformed churchgoers, we used to think we needed permission to get permission, but you don't need permission for permission. You just do it yourself. And so that's what I like to start with that. And also, when you're just starting, a great way to connect is, and even now, I've been doing this process for a decade, and I still love Oracle cards. And so if you're just starting, Oracle cards are a great tool. They are fun, they're pretty, and it's a great way to dialogue with spirit. I had a question, a dilemma that was really weighing on my heart just 2 days ago. And I sat in my prayer chair and I got out my Mother Mary cards, and I asked her a question, and the card that I got was so unbelievably perfect and just so spot on, and it took my anxiety and worry away. Because in that moment, I received the message from Mother Mary that literally the card was, your prayers are answered. Great, my prayers are answered, right? And it really, over time, it gives you a sense, it instills your faith, and it gives you a sense of trust in the universe and in the plan and in everything that is going on right now. And it gives you the support, right? It's just a great tool for support. So I have a few here that I wanted to share, right? Isis by Alana Fairchild, which is a great one. Really great, beautiful. And this one, Oracle and the Mermaids, I'm sharing because I used this deck a lot when I was writing my third book, Sky of Water, because I had so many things questions and pieces of my puzzle that I was trying to fit together. And this deck helped open up my floodgates of imagination and creativity. So I would recommend the Oracle and the Mermaids. And Oceanic Tarot too was also very beautiful. So, and then this last one from Alana again, who's amazing. Alana Fairchild, Sacred Rebels, is a wonderful feminine deck that can really connect you to the feminine side of yourself, and really I would recommend that one a lot too. So I'll put those in the description box below. These are all just things that have helped me and as connection tools. And so I just wanted to pass them along to you, as far as the feminine energies and what's available to you now, how to strengthen your faith in the unseen parts of your life, and how to strengthen your trust in the flow and the challenges and all that's going on, and know that it's all going to be okay. It is rocky. We're all going through it together. But we signed up to be on this planet right now, and because we knew we wanted a front row seat for all that is changing and growing and expanding in humanity. So have faith in yourself, have faith in the plan of the God and Goddess, right? Have faith in Sophia's plan, and know that you are not alone, you are supported. And if there's anything you need, you just have to ask. So I hope this was helpful, and you learned a little bit about the divine feminine and the different guides that are available to you. They are just a question away. I wish you a wonderful day, and I will be back soon with talking about masculine energies, and then I will do an elemental energies as well. And the other thing too, I did want to point out, when we talk about feminine energy and masculine energy, just to reiterate that we do have these energies within us as humans, because as divine beings, the world is divine and has this energy within it, and so do we as humans. So we're seeking balance right now, and one way to do that is to balance your energy between masculine and feminine, and it has a lot to do with getting connected to your heart, which is where you'll find your inspiration, and then taking action, which is the masculine energy, taking that inspired action. So it's getting inspired with the connection and then taking action towards any changes you want to make or any goals you want to see achieved. And so it's really creating that balance within yourself, which you can do with these tools that I've shared. So I have taken up enough of your time. I wish you an amazing day, and I will be back soon. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.